If you're thinking about studying biochemistry, but you're not really sure about that, and you would like to know what to expect from a bachelor's or undergraduate program, then this is the right video for you. Before I come to the content and the structure of the biochemistry program itself, I would like to talk about the definition of biochemistry. If you type biochemistry in Google, you will find many different definitions. For example, Wikipedia says biochemistry is the study of chemical processes within and relating to living organisms. Another definition would be biochemistry is the application of chemistry to the study of biological processes at the cellular and molecular level. Of course, biochemistry is much wider than that. It's not only the study of macromolecules. Biochemistry, depending where you have your focus, can be very wide. You can have your focus on physics, you can have your focus on chemistry, you can have your focus even on bioinformatics or the environment. So it's very difficult to find a common definition, in my opinion. Another thing which is very important is to know that biochemistry is not everywhere the same. Biochemistry may vary from country to country and from university to university. As the focus and the definition is different from university to university, the program itself is also sometimes pretty different. For example, where I study, we had a particular focus on chemistry in our bachelor program. Also, we had courses in mathematics and physics. But other universities, as I checked them, they, for example, didn't have any mathematics or physics at all. It was like a prerequisite, basically. In my university, we had only starting from the third semester really biochemistry courses, while other universities, they start from the beginning. So keep in mind, when you want to study biochemistry, check the courses they offer at the university, because it might be that you will not like what you will see. In my university, and actually in the most universities, it's like that from the third or fourth semester on, you start to have medical subjects, such as immunology, virology, pathology, physiology, and so on. But generally, you will not start with medical subjects in the beginning because you just need a good foundation. Alright, let's talk about the structure and the content of the Biochemistry Bachelor course itself. So in the first half of your Biochemistry Bachelor studies, you will have mathematics, physics, and a lot of chemistry. If you want to understand biochemistry, it's very important that you have a good background in chemistry. And if you did not like it in school that much, you better don't choose biochemistry. In the first 3 semesters, you will learn the basics of anorganic chemistry, organic chemistry, and physical chemistry. Even though it's called biochemistry, I have to say that the bio in biochemistry is pretty low. In my university, I had 1 biology course, and that was in the first semester. So don't have high expectations about biology because you will just not have it. As biochemistry examines the chemistry in living organisms, you have to be aware that chemistry is just the most important factor from all of that. Also be aware that you will not have much biochemistry in the beginning because you just need the basics of chemistry and biology to understand biochemistry and their macro and micromolecules. And now let's talk about the second half of your bachelor studies. Here you will have much more biochemistry. If you didn't have it in the first 3 semesters, it will definitely come from the 3rd or 4th semester on. You should be aware that in the first half of your biochemistry studies, you usually do not have any medical subjects, because you just have to learn the basics first of chemistry and biology and physics and mathematics and so on. So if you want to study biochemistry because you like medical subjects, just as I do, don't be disappointed in the first half of your bachelor studies, because in the second half of your bachelor studies, you will have them. In the last semester or in the last year, you will have some practical training in biochemistry. In this last practical training, you will use all your knowledge you gained over the years in your bachelor, and you will work on a project which is given to you or which you can choose by yourself. What you should keep in mind is that throughout your whole studies, you will have a lot of internships. You will have internships in normal organic chemistry, in inorganic chemistry, in bioanalytics, in biochemistry, and so on. And of course, you can also choose some of the internships depending on the subject. I didn't find information from other universities, but my university, they always put the internships in the semester breaks, which is not good, because you don't have any time, basically, because you're learning throughout the semester, and then when other people have breaks and they are like relaxing, flying to Bali, I don't know, then you have an internship in biochemistry. From the other side, it's understandable because it's so much. Biochemistry is such a huge field you have to learn, pretty much, I would say, that there is just no time to put those internships which are necessary to put them into your normal courses. There are two more questions where I would like to state an opinion about. How much free time do you have, and is it difficult? Especially in the beginning, you just need a lot of time to understand everything. You need to build up learning techniques. So in the beginning, it's a bit more stressful and you will not have so much free time. But in the second half of your studies, I would say that you will have definitely much more free time. Another thing which I would definitely want to mention is that you have to write a lot of protocols, which are very time consuming. Biochemistry has a lot of lab work. You have to be in the lab for many internships, and for each internship and for each work you have, you need to give protocols. Some semesters are just more stressful than others. I experienced my bachelor more as learning by heart. You have to learn a lot of things by heart, and then at the exam you just have to write it down what you learned by heart in the book. What to expect from a biochemistry bachelor's program? Let's summarize. Always check the program and the subjects the university you would like to go offers. Usually you will learn the basics of chemistry, biology, mathematics and physics first in your first half of your studies. In your second part of your studies, you will have biochemistry and other subjects where you can choose from. You will have many internships, that means you will have to write a lot of protocols. Throughout your whole studies, you will have lectures, seminars, internships, and presentations. If you're interested in medical subjects, you usually can choose them in the second part of your studies. Alright guys, that was the video what to expect from a biochemistry bachelor's program. I tried to stay as general as possible, but of course I'm influenced by my own experience of my bachelor here at my university. If you have any other questions, just feel free to write me. I hope you enjoyed the video and that I could help you. See you next time.